In a single vehicle with a fully charged air system, air pressure loss, after the initial drop and brake applied, should be less than A. 2 psi per minute. B. 3 psi per minute. C. 4 psi per minute. D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. 3 psi per minute. The service brake system. A. Is an official vehicle inspection. B. Applies and releases the brakes by using the brake pedal under normal driving. C. Are the valves that keeps the air tank pressure serviced. D. Is only on vehicles with hydraulic brakes. The correct answer is B. Applies and releases the brakes by using the brake pedal under normal driving. When the low pressure warning is activated, you should A. Wait for the air brakes to come on automatically. B. Bring the vehicle to a safe stop while you still control the brakes. C. Monitor your air pressure gauge and maintain highway speeds. D. Pump the brake pedal hard to stop. The correct answer is B. Bring the vehicle to a safe stop while you still control the brakes. Some air brake systems have an alcohol evaporator which helps A. Reduce the risk of ice in the air brake valves during cold weather. B. Remove oil from the air lines. C. Reduce the risk of water in the air brake valves in warm weather. D. Remove fuel from the airlines. The correct answer is A. Reduce the risk of ice in the air brake valves during cold weather. Compressed air is stored A. In the hoses. B. In the engine compartment. C. In the fuel tank. D. In the storage tank. The correct answer is D. In the storage tank. Your vehicle's single brake system needs adjustment if A. Pressure builds from 50 to 75 psi within 3 minutes. B. Pressure builds from 85 to 100 psi within 45 seconds. C. The compressor cuts out between 70 to 90 psi. D. The governor stops between 75 to 90 psi. The correct answer is C. The compressor cuts out between 70 to 90 psi. Air tanks should be drained A. Once a week. B. Once a day. C. Every 4 hours. D. Every 2 or 3 days. The correct answer is B. Once a day. The safety valve in the air compressor tank is set to open at A. 150 psi. B. 200 psi. C. 100 psi. D. 175 psi. The correct answer is A. 150 psi. When the safety valve releases air, it means that A. The pressure has exceeded 150 psi. B. Too much air is in the air compressor. C. Something is wrong, and you should have it checked by a mechanic. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Brake drums A. Are bolted to the wheels. B. are located at each end of the vehicle's axles. C. Hold the brake shoes and linings. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. A fully charged air system typically has PSI A. 100, B. 125, C. 150, D. 175. The correct answer is B. 125 psi. To check the air compressor governor cut-in and cut-out pressures. A. Run the engine at a fast idle. B. Step on and off the brake to reduce tank pressure. C. Monitor the air pressure gauge. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. To check the slack adjusters on S-cam brakes, you should A. Leave the parking brakes on and pull on the slack adjuster. B. Wear gloves and pull hard on each slack adjuster. C. Make sure the slack adjusters move more than 1 inch each way. D. Drain the air from the system and pull on the slack adjusters. The correct answer is B. Wear gloves and pull hard on each slack adjuster. A dual air brake system. A. Has 2 air brake systems and 1 set of controls. B. Takes less time to build air pressure. C. Has 1 set of air tanks and hoses. D. Must have 2 warning alarms. The correct answer is A. Has 2 air brake systems and 1 set of controls. The air compressor governor controls. A. When the brakes should be applied. B. When the air compressor pumps air into the storage tanks. C. When the warning light is activated. D. When the air is released from the tank. The correct answer is B. When the air compressor pumps air into the storage tanks. An emergency brake. A. Is required on commercial vehicles. B. Must be held on by mechanical force. C. Could be activated by the loss of air pressure. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. To test the low pressure warning signal, you should do all but the following. A. Shut the engine off. B. Turn the electrical power on. C. Ask a friend to listen for the signal. D. Step on and off the brake pedal to reduce air pressure. The correct answer is C. Ask a friend to listen for the signal. To test the air leakage rate, you should A. Leave the engine running and release the service brake. B. Turn off the engine and release the service brake. C. Charge the air system and leave the engine running. D. Depress the brake pedal and monitor the air pressure gauge. The correct answer is B. Turn off the engine and release the service brake. With dual air systems, the air pressure should build A. From 85 to 100 psi in 45 seconds. B. From 70 to 100 psi in 60 seconds. C. From 85 to 150 psi in 45 seconds. D. From 70 to 150 psi in 60 seconds. The correct answer is A. From 85 to 100 psi in 45 seconds. When testing air leakage rates for combination vehicles, before applying the brake pedal, air brake systems should not lose air faster than A. 2 psi per minute. B. 3 psi per 30 seconds. C. 3 psi per minute. D. 4 psi per minute. The correct answer is C. 3 psi per minute. Fanning air brakes. A. Cools them off. B. Increases the air pressure. C. Increases the braking power. D. Decreases the air pressure. The correct answer is D. Decreases the air pressure. The brake drums or discs. A. Must have linings that fit loosely on the brake shoes. B. Must not have any cracks. C. Must not have cracks longer than half the width of the friction area. D. Should be kept well greased. The correct answer is C. Must not have cracks longer than half the width of the friction area. If your air compressor stops working. A. You will lose your brakes immediately. B. The brakes will immediately lock up. C. You'll still have air pressure left in the air tanks. D. Your brakes won't be affected. The correct answer is C. You'll still have air pressure left in the air tanks. The governor stops pumping air when it reaches the cutout level or around. A. 125 psi. B. 200 psi. C. 225 psi. D. 175 psi. The correct answer is A. 125 psi. To determine if slack adjusters need adjustment. A. Apply the service brakes and release the parking brakes. B. Apply both the service and parking brakes. C. Pull out the automatic slack adjustment control knob. D. Release both the service and parking brakes. The correct answer is D. Release both the service and parking brakes. You should not use the parking brakes. A. On a steep hill. B. If the air pressure is low. C. When the brakes are hot. D. In hot weather. The correct answer is C. When the brakes are hot. The governor allows the air to start pumping again when it reaches the cut-in level or around. A. 200 psi. B. 100 psi. C. 150 psi. D. 125 psi. The correct answer is B. 100 psi. Air tanks should be drained. A. At the end of each day or shift. B. To keep sludge from clogging brake system valves. C. Manually when automatic devices fail. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Slack adjusters. A. Never need to be adjusted. B. should only be adjusted by a qualified mechanic. C. Can be adjusted manually or automatically. D. Should travel at least 2 inches from where the push rod is attached. The correct answer is C. Can be adjusted manually or automatically. An air tank is equipped with a drain valve to remove A. Air and water. B. Oil and air. C. Water and oil. D. Dirt and oil. The correct answer is C. Water and oil. To make an emergency stop with air brakes, using the stab braking method, you should A. Pump the brake pedal rapidly and lightly. B. Brake hard until the wheels lock, and then get off the brakes for as much time as the wheels were locked. C. Brake as hard as you can, get off the brakes when the wheels lock, get back on the brakes when the wheels start rolling again. D. Press hard on the brake pedal and apply full hand valve until you stop. The correct answer is C. Brake as hard as you can, get off the brakes when the wheels lock, get back on the brakes when the wheels start rolling again. If the air compressor should develop a leak, what keeps the air in the tanks? A. The tractor protection valve. B. The emergency relay valve. C. The one-way check valve. D. The air compressor. The correct answer is C. The one-way check valve. The most common type of foundation brakes found on heavy vehicles is the A. Disc brakes. B. Wedge drum. C. S-cam drum. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. S-cam drum. The brake system that applies and releases the brakes when the driver uses the brake pedal is the A. Service brake system. B. Emergency brake system. C. Parking brake system. D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. Service brake system. Vehicles with air brakes must have A. At least 2 air tanks. B. An air pressure gauge to show the pressure available for braking. C. An air pressure gauge to show air used by the brake chambers for braking. D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. An air pressure gauge to show the pressure available for braking. To check the free play of manual slack adjusters on S-cam brakes, you should A. Park on level ground, chock the wheels, and release the parking brakes. B. Stop on level ground and apply the parking brakes. C. Park on level ground and drain off air pressure before adjusting. D. Park on a slight grade, release the parking brake, apply the service brakes, and check for vehicle movement. The correct answer is A. Park on level ground, chock the wheels, and release the parking brakes. You should know that your brakes are fading when A. Pressure on the brake pedal is released and speed increases. B. You have to push harder on the brake pedal to control your speed on a downgrade. C. The brake feels spongy when pressure is applied. D. Less pressure is needed on the brake pedal for each stop. The correct answer is B. You have to push harder on the brake pedal to control your speed on a downgrade. Air loss in a straight truck or bus should not be more than with the engine off and the brakes released? A. 1 psi in 30 seconds. B. 1 psi in 1 minute. C. 2 psi in 1 minute. D. 3 psi in 1 minute. The correct answer is C. 2 psi in 1 minute. The driver must be able to see a warning that is given before air pressure in the service air tanks falls below A. 80 psi. B. 40 psi. C. 20 psi. D. 60 psi. The correct answer is D. 60 psi. When driving down a long steep hill, you should A. Use stab braking. B. Begin braking when you are 10 mph above your safe speed. C. Release the brake when you are 5 mph below your safe speed. D. Use the trailer brakes. The correct answer is C. Release the brake when you are 5 miles per hour below your safe speed. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, every day during cold weather you should A. Clean the air filter with alcohol. B. Check and fill the alcohol level. C. Change the alcohol from a new bottle. D. Check the oil for alcohol content. The correct answer is B. Check and fill the alcohol level. During normal driving, spring brakes are usually held back by A. Spring pressure. B. Bolts or clamps. C. Centrifugal force. D. Air pressure. The correct answer is D. Air pressure. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, it is there to A. Reduce the risk of ice in air brake valves in cold weather. B. Eliminate the need for daily tank draining. C. Rid the wet tank of alcohol that condenses and sits at the bottom. D. Boost tank pressure the same way that superchargers boost. The correct answer is A. Reduce the risk of ice in air brake valves in cold weather. In air brake vehicles, the parking brakes should be used A. To hold your speed when going downhill. B. Whenever the vehicle is parked. C. As little as possible. D. Only during pre- and post-trip inspections. The correct answer is B. Whenever the vehicle is parked. A straight truck or bus air brake system should not leak at a rate of more than psi per minute with the engine off and the brakes released. A. 4 psi. B. 3 psi. C. 2 psi. D. 1 psi. The correct answer is C. 2 psi. Air braking takes more time than hydraulic braking because air brakes A. Need to have airflow through the lines to work. B. Use different brake drums. C. Require heavier return springs. D. All of the above. The correct answer is A. Need to have airflow through the lines to work. Your truck or bus has a dual air brake system. If a low air pressure warning comes on for only one system, what should you do? A. Reduce your speed and drive to the nearest garage for repairs. B. Continue at normal speed and find a garage before the brakes lock. C. Reduce your speed and test the remaining system while underway. D. Stop. Safely park and continue only after the system is fixed. The correct answer is D. Stop. Safely park and continue only after the system is fixed. The brake pedal in an air brake system. A. Is to be used as a footrest during normal driving. B. Controls the speed of the air compressor. C. Controls the air pressure applied to put on the brakes. D. Is connected to slack adjusters by a series of rods and linkages. The correct answer is C. Controls the air pressure applied to put on the brakes. If you must make an emergency stop, you should brake so that you A. Use the full power of the brakes and lock them. B. Can steer hard while braking hard. C. Stay in a straight line and can steer. D. Use the hand brake first. The correct answer is C. Stay in a straight line and can steer. If your truck or bus has dual parking control valves, it means that you can use pressure from a separate tank to A. Balance the service brake system. B. Release the spring brakes to move a short distance. C. Stay parked without using up service air pressure. D. Apply more brake pressure if the main tank is getting low. The correct answer is B. Release the spring brakes to move a short distance. The proper way to go down long grades is to A. Use a low gear and push hard on the brakes. B. Let up on the brakes from time to time to cool them. C. Use a low gear and apply constant, light pressure on the brakes. D. Apply brakes just hard enough to reduce speed to 5 mph below safe speed, then release until back to safe speed and repeat process. The correct answer is D. Apply brakes just hard enough to reduce speed to 5 miles per hour below safe speed. Then release until back to safe speed and repeat process. You should avoid using the parking brake. A. On steep hills. B. If the air pressure is low. C. When the brakes are hot. D. Anytime you park. The correct answer is C. When the brakes are hot. An application pressure gauge. A. Shows how much air pressure you are applying to the brakes. B. Is connected to the generator. C. Releases air when you accelerate. D. Prevents brake failure. The correct answer is A. Shows how much air pressure you are applying to the brakes. All vehicles with air brakes are required to have a low pressure warning signal. This could be A. A red light. B. A wig-wag mechanical arm. C. A buzzer. D. Any one of the above. The correct answer is D. Any one of the above. To test your service brakes, you should A. Stop the vehicle and put the parking brake on. B. Release the parking brake, move forward slowly and depress brakes. C. Put parking brake on and release air pressure. D. Depress brakes when traveling at highway speeds. The correct answer is B. Release the parking brake, move forward slowly and depress brakes. Air brakes take longer to stop than hydraulic brakes because A. The reaction time is longer for the driver. B. It takes longer for the air to flow through the lines. C. The linings get hotter more quickly. D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. It takes longer for the air to flow through the lines. Which type of brake is the most common in commercial vehicles? A. Wedge brakes. B. Disc brakes. C. S-cam brakes. D. Drum brakes. The correct answer is C. S-cam brakes. When you apply pressure to the brake pedal, you are A. Putting on the brakes. B. Releasing air pressure to the brakes. C. Reducing air in the tanks. D. Activating the safety valve. The correct answer is A. Putting on the brakes. Stab braking occurs when you A. Press on the brake pedal all the way. B. Release the brakes when the wheels lock up. C. Apply the brakes when the wheels start rolling. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. The air compressor is connected to the engine through A. Gears. B. Hoses. C. V-belt. D. Gears or a V-belt. The correct answer is D. Gears or a V-belt. The air compressor governor controls A. When air is pumped into the air tanks. B. Air pressure applied to the brakes. C. The speed of the air compressor. D. When the brake chambers release pressure. The correct answer is A. When air is pumped into the air tanks. What can legally hold a parking or emergency brake in position for a truck, tractor, or bus? A. Fluid pressure. B. Air pressure. C. Spring pressure. D. Any of the above. The correct answer is C. Spring pressure. Modern air brake systems combines three different systems. They are the service brakes, the parking brakes, and the A. S-cam brakes. B. Drum brakes. C. Foot brakes. D. Emergency brakes. The correct answer is D. Emergency brakes. The application pressure gauge shows the driver how much pressure A. has been used on the trip. B. is in the air tanks. C. is being applied to the brakes. D. none of these. The correct answer is D. is being applied to the brakes. Which of the following makes the total stopping distance for air brakes longer than that for hydraulic brakes? A. Brake lag distance. B. Action distance. C. Perception distance. D. Effective braking distance. The correct answer is A. Brake lag distance. Why drain water from the compressed air tanks? A. To keep from fouling the air compressor oil. B. Water can freeze in cold weather and cause brake failure. C. The low boiling point of water reduces braking power. D. Water overcools the compressor. The correct answer is B. Water can freeze in cold weather and cause brake failure. Of the choices below, the first thing to do when a low air pressure warning comes on is A. Open the air supply control valve. B. Adjust the brake pedal for more travel. C. Stop and safely park as soon as possible. D. Upshift. The correct answer is C. Stop and safely park as soon as possible. Air brake equipped vehicles must have A. A supply pressure gauge. B. An air use gauge. C. At least 2 brake heaters. D. A backup hydraulic system. The correct answer is A. A supply pressure gauge. The braking power of the spring brakes. A. Can only be tested by highly trained brake service people. B. Depends on the adjustment of the service brakes. C. Increases when the service brakes are hot. D. Is not affected by the condition of the service brakes. The correct answer is B. Depends on the adjustment of the service brakes. Oil and water usually collect in compressed air tanks. If you do not have an automatic tank drain, when should you drain the air tanks? A. After every working day. B. After every 4 hours of service. C. Once a week. D. Every other week. The correct answer is A. After every working day.